Welcome back to Rubbin Minds. I have a guest here with me. He was the second runner-up from Big Brother Niger, Double Wahala. I can't figure out how many times I've said that in the last couple of months. Tobi Bakre, thanks for being here today. Not
Thank you very
Bakre.
Bakre.
It takes that very personal. How you doing?
Fine, thank you.
Welcome on the show. Congratulations on being a finalist on Big Brother.
Thank you.
First question I want to ask now is, there was a lot of controversy when you were in the house about the fact that you were a candidate of one of the sponsors of the show, and how that was how you got in, and I find that a lot of the housemates never really talk about the fact of how they got into the house. Take us through your journey very quickly.
For me, I always wanted to be on the Big Brother show. So when the time came, I was concerned because Heritage Bank was the headline sponsor the previous year. So I went for the auditions. Nobody in the office knew. But at the different stages of the auditions, when it started looking like, oh, this dream is actually going to come through, I had to resign. That was at the point where I had to disclose to my media boss, like, okay, I have to resign. I didn't say why. And then, but we have a relationship. So later she called me and she's like, but why? I'm like, okay, I really want to I'm going for Big Brother.
Yeah.
So I had to resign and then take up on the Big Brother dream. So I had quit my employment with Heritage Bank, or being employed with Heritage Bank before getting into the house, because I knew like somewhere or the other it might probably cause controversy, or they will probably even try to discourage me. So I already made my decisions before, and I spoke to family.
Yeah.
Though my father didn't particularly know I was going to resign, but I mean.
So that job is done
now. Yeah.
You're never going back to banking?
In the future, I might consider other aspects of banking, because there's still creative stuff or business stuff I can still do in the banking sphere. So it was something I did and did enjoy, but I just didn't like the routine nature of the bank. Yeah, I like spontaneity. So.
Yeah. So why did you go on the show? Is that why you went on the show? Because there's a lot of stories about, Tobi is from a very wealthy family. His dad is an ED or an MD of I don't know wherever. Your brother owns a very popular blog, Cracks TV.
Yeah.
So you come from some privilege, according to a lot of people. So why would you go on the show to win money?
The way we were raised, typically, everybody has to make way for themselves. Like, I'm from a very humble background. People have the idea of my family being that. I actually don't think it's that way. We're just comfortable. But like, everybody has been independent from the age of 19. I really haven't gone home for anything. I've had to strive for myself. I've been working for myself. Both when I started.
How long ago was that?
4 years ago.
Okay. So I was trying to set you because people don't believe your age.
Nah, come on. So I started work 4 years ago, and then working with Heritage Bank. So I started fending for myself pretty much. And then even when the pay wasn't enough, I started doing photography. So just to make ends meet. And then I found more love in photography. So yeah, so since the age of about 19, I've been pretty much responsible for myself.
Yeah.
I mean, everything I've done for myself. Travels by myself, my first car, God helping me, my office, everything, still by myself. So pretty much what we gain from family, or the blessing from family, is just the way they brought us up, and the wisdom and native wisdom, and just, the advice, and then you can now go out and like do other stuff.
Yeah. So you had seen the show before you went on the show?
Yes, I have, but not
in detail.
Yeah, not in detail.
Knew what the show was about,
yeah, I knew definitely.
What was the biggest surprise being in the house? I'm sure you had a conception of what you thought it would be. What was the biggest surprise for you being on the show?
I think everything. When you hear of it or when you kind of watch it, it's different from when you're part of the show.
Yeah.
When you're in there, a lot of things people don't actually get to understand. Because eventually what happens is what might lead to an action is not shown, but then they will see the reaction. So it was a lot. And then I didn't actually think of it that I'm going to be with the same people for 3 months. Like, that didn't sink in. So that was the most challenging part. Like, you're hearing, like, week 4, you're hearing someone gisting with people, and you just go there, okay, what's the new gist? And you just hear something they told you like 2 days into the show. So, but eventually it was quite interesting.
Yeah. When you were on the show, your Yoruba demon card was revoked from you for apparently the way your dealings with TC at the beginning of the show, where you were seen to be quote unquote weak.
Okay.
Did you think that was what you were at the time?
No, that's not being weak. I mean, before getting on the show, my friends knew, or my friends and family know my history. So I'm not that notorious. I'm not that bad I'm not that very crazy Yoruba demon. But then, in the house, getting into the house, you really want to be a better version of yourself. So better version of me will be more patient, more like learn to understand. Because I go into the house, and every interaction with everybody, you have to understand that, okay, this is not the outside world.
Yeah.
You have to learn to know these people. You have to give time to understand what is what. So being patient and trying to understand and, you know, trying to train a sorry here and there doesn't make you weak. Like, nah, it's not weakness. It's not weakness at all.
What made you flip the script, if I may use those words, with your relationship with CC? What was it exactly that was your trigger that made you say, you know what?
Well, I really didn't want to answer any questions pertaining to the house anymore. But yeah, since you're asking, I think at that time when you have a relationship with a friend, like whoever it is, you kind of tend to give room for a lot of things. You try to be understanding, and then you just try to be very objective. But I mean, you definitely get to that point where you're like, okay, I know this thing for a fact. I've been patient, but you know, this is not going to work. So I think I just got to that point where I'm like, this is not going to work. So it wasn't more like initiate flipping the script. Just you've been patient, and you just say like, yo, this thing is not going to stop. It's probably just going to continue. So I mean, everybody has their own limits. So I think I got to my limit.
I asked that because I mean, there was talks about an allegation against you from her at the time. Am I right?
Not quite.
Did you have the conversation with her?
Yes, every issue we had, we definitely had conversations. At least in the house, every other issue we had, we talked about it, tried to find reason around it. But I think as individuals, we just see things differently. So that was like one of the major things that led to us not, or the kind of blockage or in communication. So we see things differently. We had like two different individuals. It took 2 weeks to actually establish that fact, like, okay, we see it, you're seeing red, I'm seeing black. So how do we balance it out? So